We are very happy to have you join us on this edition of Youth Focus on Aneke TV. It is a program that provides solutions to all of the problems and challenges surrounding the young people. We achieve this by way of making opinions. We give commendations. Of course, to motivate the young people where necessary, and then we criticize them where necessary as well. My name is Chinua, and our focus for today is on the examination malpractices in our schools. Thank you so much for being there. You can always find us on our social media handles, our Facebook page, our X handle, Instagram, TikTok, and of course YouTube at Aneke TV. You see how amazing we can be with programs. Thank you. Permit me to introduce to you some guests we have on the studio today for this program. I have the programs officer, Aneke Pascal Onyeka Care Foundation. He's also a youth administrator. By my left is Obu Obinna Samson.
Thank you.
You are welcome.
Thank you very much.
All right, and I have the president, Enugu State Young Farmers Association. He is also the director, Agricultural Directorate, National Youth Council of Nigeria, Enugu State Chapter. In the person of Kenneth Eze. You are welcome on the show.
Thank you so much.
All right, you can see we have high-profile personalities in the program of today. And we, as you have heard, our topic is examination malpractices in our schools. All right, my guest, you are here today for this particular topic.
Yes.
And of course, I would have said we are here to hear from the horse's mouth. Had it been your horses. But looking at you, this is Obinna and this is Kenneth. Yeah. You are not horses. Now, Obinna, yeah. In any way you can, is it true or do you believe that a thing like examination malpractices is maybe taking place in our tertiary institutions today?
Yes, of course.
You do believe?
It's an obvious trend.
You know what I need to ask you this, Ken, also.
Yes.
I also need to ask you if you believe, because if you guys don't believe, that means we can't be progressing in error. Okay, since you believe, to you, what does examination malpractice stand to you?
Well, the term itself is examination malpractice is a willful act deliberately designed to give a candidate, which in this case could be a student or a pupil, an undue advantage over others in an examination, which is against the examination rules and regulation. So that is so it is just a scheme designed to favor somebody, even when he or she does not deserve it.
Oh, a scheme designed to favor somebody, even when he or she does not deserve it.
Yes.
Ken, I don't know if you are very comfortable with this definition of.
Yes. I just need to add a little to what you just said. The exam malpractice could be termed cheating also. Is the act of using dishonest methods to gain an unfair advantage during an examination to secure good grades or pass an assessment. So whatever dishonest method you use to pass is exam malpractice, and it's called cheating also. So in these terms, and I know part of the reasons why they do these things is because they have already set a standard that you must reach this target. You must, if you don't get to this mark, then you have failed. So, but in the course of our discussion, we need to now look at why do people indulge in exam malpractices. So we can now start solving.
All right, thank you so much. Then Obinna, I wouldn't really know if examination malpractices are as old as school systems itself. But we look at was there a time when it started? Like, was there a period of time when this menace started? Or did it start when school started?
Well, it's a clear question. To me, I would say that examination malpractice is as old as the existence of man. Yes, I can trace it back to the Bible days. For example, when you look at the story of Adam and Eve, and Lucifer, the serpent, the role that the serpent played was exam malpractice, giving them a clue to what God would have revealed hitherto on his own term and plan. They want to dive into the future which God have not even yet given them permission. Eat this, you will see you will not die, you will look like us. And you know things that we know. That's the examination malpractice. But God has his own way of trying to unveil this thing before time. So if to me, I would trace it back to that history of Adam and Eve and the role that the serpent played. But history has it that In 1914, is it a senior Cambridge examination was leaked for the first time in 1914. So I think an author was going through an author. He said yes, in 1914 that was when you can track the root of examination. That was the first time senior Cambridge examination was leaked. And then in Nigeria context, I think in 1948 we have a man, is it a Nigerian, that was caught for the first time during a history paper. According to that author again, while taking a history examination, he was caught with a foreign material inside the hall. So in that context, we can say by history, we have 1914 when Cambridge senior examination was first leaked, and then in 1948 when a Nigerian was first caught in the hall with a foreign material. But to me, I will tell you that it's as old as the existence of man, because serpent set that pace for man.
Okay, we're taking that of 1914 and that of Nigeria context, but then that of Garden of Eden. I don't know if Adam, if we are there to write it.
You know, like when he was saying, I could now relate to it because in life, I think we all write exam each time. Yeah. Each time there is a trial or temptation you are being faced, that just know that it's an exam being set to you, maybe by God or by circumstances or by life itself. So how you relate to that thing, how you overcome it, you know, is a pass mark for you. If you relate to it negatively, you have failed. If you relate to it positively, you have passed. So I believe, like what he said, everybody is passing an exam each time. So whenever you are being faced with a difficult situation and you are thinking, how can I come out of this? And just know at that point in time, you are being faced to write an exam. So it depends on how you see it, how you pass the exam. So everybody is writing an exam in this life. But I think the context of our discussion today is the examination malpractice in the classroom as regards the youth, the pupils. So if you ask me, I will say this thing started from when a child was giving birth to, you know, by what you teach that child. Our school system is being designed to teach us to run a race on healthy competition, that there is a mark to score, that there is a grade to attain. So by so doing, you see everybody running, trying to get that thing. They don't teach us the moral values like honesty, integrity, transparency, accountability, respect. So these are the things that can actually make a human being can actually make a good person in the society that can fit in the grand scheme of things. But if you just focus on going to school, just to go there and get good grades and come out, you will say our society will still remain the way we are. But if our school system is designed to say that, okay, we are living for each other, but I think by the end of this discussion, I will suggest something that the school system can adopt. Let's see if we can curtail this examination malpractice.
Thank you so much. We'll wait till towards the end.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll be happy to have that your suggestion. Yeah. All right, if you are joining us now, it is Youth Focus on Aneke TV. Our focus for today is on examination malpractices in schools. And you can see I have, like I told you before, we have high-profile personalities here. They are doing justice to the topic. I have Obinna here, Samson, who is a program officer at Aneke Pascal Onyeka Care Foundation. He's also a youth administrator. And then we have Kenneth Eze, who is the president, Young Farmers Association, Enugu State Chapter. He's also the director, Agricultural Directorate, National Youth Council of Nigeria, Enugu Chapter. Thank you so much for being there. Let's continue. All right, one may begin to imagine the causes of exhaustion malpractices. Obinna, what could be the possible causes of exhaustion malpractices? Of course, we have looked at when it began, how it began, but what motivated people to say or to think of going into these malpractices that we're talking about?
Well, let me look at it from this angle. Number one, there are many players to this issue of examination malpractice. But before we go into that, some of the root causes of this can be tracked down to, number one, from the aspect of the students not being prepared before going for examinations. People are not, most of the students you see today, or the pupils you see today, they don't take their schoolwork serious any longer. This general idea of school is a scam. It's affecting their performance in the classroom. Most often, somebody will just go. How can you go to a class unprepared? What will you expect at the end of the day? When you fail to plan, then definitely you have planned to fail automatically. So lack of preparation from their end is the cause of it. Another thing is falling moral decadence. moral value has fallen. You know, we are in a society where mediocrity is highly placed above meritocracy. People don't even desire merit any longer. Just mediocres everywhere, putting square peg in a round hole. So, and this is because of crave for material things. People are not after doing what is right again. People just want to appear good on the surface without any deep-rooted value backing what they are doing. So our family have failed. The school system have failed. And when it comes to moral value, now it cut across all the players here. Parents are no longer interested in hard work any longer. Students also, the pupils, are no longer interested in hard work any longer. The teachers who are supposed to do their job in the classroom, they are not doing it. If you have a scheme, maybe you have a scheme to cover in a term, then, and you are being forced to come to the classroom, how will you expect the student to cover up these schemes? Then, at the end of the day, you want to examine the student based on the topic and the scheme you have set, you are giving them. There's no justification for those questions. Teachers contribute to this.
Oh, thank you so much.
So there are many factors.
Thank you so much,
Yes,
Obinna.
thank you.
I can perceive how bitter you are. But Kenneth, I don't know if we're going to sit down here and agree with Obinna that school system have failed.
Yes.
And that parents have failed also.
Yes.
What do you have to say about that?
I'm going to agree with what you just said because it starts from the home. the
Failing
family.
at what magnitude?
Okay, if we say our families have failed, then you need
Your
to
families are still
inculcate.
existing now.
Yes, you need
School
to.
systems are still existing.
Yeah, you need
Children are still
to.
in
You
school.
need to inculcate the good moral values at home. First of all, you need to. I don't know if we still have these PTA meetings going on, Parent Teachers Association. So when they have such kind of meetings, what did they discuss? Do they discuss how the child is behaving in school and all that? Does it really tally? Because parents might see their kids behaving well at home, but in school, what do they do? Did they even attend classes at all? Did they pay attention to their teachers? Are they obedient? You know, all those kind of things. So there should be that synergy. That's why I say the families have failed. They should also pay attention. Some parents just find it as a means of escape when they push their children to go to school and they go to work.
Yes.
So they don't really look into their kids anymore. They leave all the jobs and duties to the teachers alone. And the teachers, how many children can you control per time? You have 40 students in a class, 30, 60, 70, 80 for one teacher. So our eyes will not be everywhere at a time. So the parents, our families, they start from the home. Your child, that first to 3 years at home, you need to fill it with some good thoughts and moral values. Teach this child integrity, accountability, respect, discipline, so that when they go to school, what the teacher now will be doing is just to add more to what the child already has. So when I say the families, like he said, has failed, it's the same thing. They have then the educational institution too. We have poor teachers. We have a lack of adequate facilities. Sometimes the examination hall is overcrowded. No good facilities. Then corruption and bribery also. You will see people, because even the salaries of these teachers are very small. So you now see people receiving bribe just to pass. Now we have special centers, can you imagine, where they go and write JAMB and WAEC and NECO so that they can pass. Yes. And you see parents paying for the children's school fees to go to those special centers to write an exam. Is that bad?
Deliberately.
Is that bad? So we need to, our parents need to be, and then how do you caution your kids again? If they come out with poor grades, because that is what I want to say, can we just take out this issue of positions, first, second, third? Let's look at the grading system. Let's know, okay, in this particular course, you scored 70 or 80 or 90. Good, remove the first, second position. We are not in a race. Even what I studied in school is not what I'm doing now. So many of us, what we studied in school is not what. So what has really kept us going was the discipline we could be able to imbibe while in school. The hard work we put in studying. So all those things these are the things that have kept us going, not actually what was taught us in school. So things like moral values, discipline, keeping to time management, transparency, accountability, respect for your time and for the time of others. Accountability. These are the things that will carve you out, that will make you carve a niche for you in the society. These are the things that will make you outstanding, and these are the things that we need.
You will continue, but there is something I really want to understand here. Are you saying that all of the causes of examination malpractices in school, from head to toe, is being blamed on the school system and the parents?
Yes, I
Just
can even grade it. If I need to grade it accordingly, it starts from the parents first, then the school system, the teachers, then the government, before the students.
That is the case, Obina, don't you think there are parents that don't even know the moral values you have itemized here? It is not in them.
So
like
now,
what you don't have, you cannot
now let me
give.
I beg to answer that. Now let me come in. You know, when you say parents, who is a parent? Someone that can actually take care of another person. So for you to even become a parent, a man, you know that you have of age. You have something you have found your purpose and your set and your calling in life. So you cannot recreate, you cannot bring another human being into life that you want to pass a legacy on. So what are you passing to that kid? If you haven't found yourself, if you haven't found a value which you can die for, so why are you bringing another person into this earth to come and continue the confusion?
Who answers that question?
No, now for a man to say, okay, I'm ready to go and marry, you must know that you are ready, both in your values, in everything, so that if you are bringing a child into this world, you are telling the child, see, you have to work on these values.
But don't you think there are a lot of parenthood today came in, permit me to say, by accident? It was not planned. There was no day a man or a young man got himself prepared and said, yes, I'm qualified to get married, I want to get married. And I know all of the qualities you have mentioned here. To back it up, a lot of these marriages happen by accident. And when it happens, incidentally, a child comes to the table. What's the next thing? Marriage has started. Family has started. In such case, who will you blame?
They will learn.
It's obvious.
They will learn on the job.
Yes, now you play the game according to the rule of the game.
If he does not know the rule, that's what I'm talking about.
That is why we have programs like this. They can listen, they can learn, they can study, they can improve themselves. You know, they can find out better means of bettering their lives. Okay. They cannot remain the same and expect things to change.
Okay, you have actually blamed the parents. You have also blamed the teachers.
Government have a
that the teachers are not good.
Government.
Yes. On the part, government is the third
let's finish up with the teachers now.
Okay.
In what aspect, or what respect would you say that teachers are not good? And they are teachers. What's the correct definition of a teacher? If I may ask.
A teacher is someone who is professionally trained to administer teaching and learning in a classroom.
And someone can tell us that teachers are not good. How would somebody in that status wouldn't it be good to teach and is in the classroom?
Most of them are not qualified. Number one says status by saying that. You know, the rate of unemployment in the society has made every graduate a teacher. The easiest job they can lay hand upon is to go to the classroom. And because of the nature of the increasing nature of schools around, private schools, they are all out there to get anyhow person to stand in because of most often the qualified are not willing to take up the job because of the low payments. The qualified teachers, so to say. They are after government work. Engage them in private schools is another issue. So most often people that go for such kind of job are the unqualified ones. People that have never even, those ones that have not even gone to school. Even if they have gone to school, they are not trained in an educational institute to man the classroom activities. That's the challenge you have. So some teachers are not well trained. Some, their moral decadence is alarming.
Okay, let me add to what you just said. You know, teaching is a divine calling. Teaching is a divine calling. And they say the reward of teachers are in heaven. But I know it's a cliche and we have really, really downplayed the role of teachers. You know, when we say someone is a teacher, we attach so much importance to that terminology, teaching, because that is where you start forming the minds of these younger ones, you know, shaping their future, their destinies and all that. So if we call someone a teacher, what it means is that you are qualified to actually transfer knowledge, groom somebody, you know, make the person whom he or she, we are all products of teachers right now, that we are sitting down here to talk, to pass this knowledge, pass information, because of the so many teachings we have gone through under teachers. You see, so now, do we have teachers that can actually teach those good things without even looking at the salary structure? Because I know government sometimes owe teachers arrears of salary, you know, but can we have people that can say, okay, because I believe in the future of this child, let me bring out my time to improve myself and transfer this knowledge to this child, even when I'm being paid or not. I do tell people that I did my NYC at a radio station. After 1 year, they said I should stay back. I stayed back for 5 years without salary, working, because I just wanted to learn and pass that knowledge to people. I want to shape the mindset of people, change people's mindset and perception, because everything begins with the mind. What are you thinking? How is your mindset like? What do you see when you look at things? Do you believe in a better tomorrow? Do you believe you can change things? And what are you bringing to the society? So it's not about what you are being paid. We know that Nigeria is what it is right now. We are coming to the part of government. They should increase the salary of teachers, but let us not forget that teaching is a divine calling.
Okay, thank you so much. Obina, let us bring in the government to share in the blames, like you pointed out.
Well, government they have a big role to play when it comes to tackling this issue of examination malpractice, because they are the one creating the policy that governs schools, administration, and management, and they are, let me say, the major employers when it comes to teachers' engagement in the society.
Okay.
Now, since they are the one to initiate policies, they have a greater role. Like, for example, now look at our secondary school level now. Have you heard of any secondary school where students are not being promoted after the third term examination? It's, as they come in, they are promoted. That has been the practice. There's nothing like this student at the end of the third year and third term examination, this student is going to repeat. We don't have repetition any longer. Just the way they came in, garbage in, garbage out. You keep promoting them till SS3 when they will take the external examination. Those old cultures of failure to meet up with the grade, you repeat class. It's no longer in practice again. That's where government have to come in. How can they come up with a good institutional practice, like, for example, setting up a policy that, okay, failure to meet this grade, you will repeat class. What are they doing to checkmate the excesses of the private schools around? Where, if for example now, in some private school, when I taught as a teacher, there's one school I taught back then in Abakwa. We after merit. Now, if a student or a pupil fails, that pupil will be forced to repeat class. It got to a point, some parents picked offense, and what they do is pull their pupil or student away. Their word, take to another school where they will be admitted, even promoted to the next class, even when they don't deserve it. It's an issue. How would they check this in? That's where government have to come in.
Okay.
Check. Like in Enugu State now, they have initiated, third term examination, general examination. But this examination is being administered in different levels, in different time, not collectively like the external examination. What they normally do is to go to school and then give it to somebody from the ministry to bring it to school to administer the exams. At the end of it all, it is taken. The outcome of this exam, I don't really understand how they go about it. But if they are serious to check this problem of examination malpractice, it will go a long way. And that their role in checking it is very, very important, because they are the one initiating policy, and they still be the one to make sure that these policies are well carried out at the school level.
Okay, that tells me, or that makes me to maybe believe that government indirectly, their hands are in
we are not
this practice of examination malpractice.
Yeah, sure.
All right.
Through their practice.
Do you agree with that too?
Yes, I agree, because sometimes when they give admissions to people, to the universities, you see people that are not qualified gaining admission. So that is where it starts. You see government, just because of maybe over familiarity, you know this person, you want to give admission, then they will not admit this person that doesn't match up with the grades or the scoring points for admittance. Then also we need to de-emphasize paper qualification. Now what I want to suggest is, I don't know, when you get a report card or a result sheet of a pupil, what you start seeing is English, you start seeing mathematics, this score and all that. Then it's only civic education that you now see, the moral instruction. These two important courses are just the two. What about, how do we checkmate the moral values of these people, like respect, transparency, accountability, hard work, determination, being focused? We need to know these things. These are the integers that will actually drive the life of these kids. Because some of these things that we learn in school, we don't even use all of them at all. Most of these, some people are even pushing that some of these courses should be removed entirely. But you cannot take away good moral values like respect, accountability, transparency. You can't take that away from a child. So we need to focus more on building the inner self of that person. Let's know, forget about the grades. It's important, it's good, quite all right, right? But we have seen in the real world that what actually drives this child or this person are the moral values, the qualities he or she has, not actually the A1 he got in English or the B2 he got in mathematics. No, We don't need all. So let's look at the government needs to de-emphasize paper qualifications, and you know, this fairness in admissions into school. Let's put a square peg in a square hole. Not go and take someone who is, because you just want this person to answer an engineer, a doctor, and the person is good for fine art or music. You take the person will make a mess of that thing.
All right, thank you so much, Kenneth. This sounds like a take-home. Yes. That we really need to build more on what we have in-depth in the child than what is written on papers. Thank you so much. We want to observe just a short break. When we are back, we'll look at the punitive measures or punishment, kind of, that is there for those students who indulge in examination malpractice. Thank you so much. We shall be right back.
Aqua, water. Water is life. Ancient, sacred, pure. It remembers creation and carries cleansing. It can be calm or it can rage, but it always moves. Aqua teaches us to be soft yet strong, to adapt yet remain, to flow around obstacles yet shape even the hardest stone. We came from water. We need water, and sometimes when words fail and hearts break, only water falling from our eyes or washing over our skin can heal what language cannot.
Thank you so much. We're back from the short break, and it's good to know you are still there. It is the program Youth Focus on Aneke Television. We are discussing today examination malpractices in our schools. And I have my wonderful guest here. I have Obinna Obu, who is the programs officer, Aneke Pascal, Aneke Care Foundation. He's also a youth administrator. And I have Kenneth Eze, who is the chairman, Young Farmers Association, Enugu State Chapter. He is also the director, the Agricultural Directorate, National Youth Council of Nigeria, Enugu State Chapter. Thank you so much. Let's continue. Before we went on the short break, we are actually looking at the punitive measures that have been laid down for students who are caught in examination malpractice. Or are there not anything like punishment there? How has it been? Obinna, talk to us.
Well, it cut across levels of schools. Like for example, using the secondary school level, if a pupil or a student, the secondary school level, if a student is caught in that very act of examination malpractice, that student can, most time before now, I don't know the practice now, but I think before now, most often some schools give expulsion, some give suspension, some give other punishment, like level within the school. Like in my school where I taught then, what we normally do is, if it is in a subject, you'll be given a punitive measure. Most often, in the presence of all the students, will flog you. And then from there, we'll give you other corporal punishment which you adhere to. Then in the presence, your parents will be around. And you'll be suspended for a period of time before you coming back again. That is if it's not a promotion exam. Because what we do then is, we match both first time, second time, third time to determine your promotion. Because you did not commit malpractice in all the subjects. There is a subject. So the gravity of the offense committed determines the punishment to be given to you. But you have some schools like university, university who have issues in Covenant University where once you are caught, you are off the school, missionary schools here and there. Even in some government-owned universities, once you are caught, it's receipt for you, automatically, receipts for you. And if it repeats, then you're off the system. In medical courses like nursing, pharmacy, and nursing, that one there's no apology for that. Once you are caught, you're off. Okay. But that one has to do with human life.
Okay, we are coming to that university context.
All right.
Kenneth, let's look at it this way. If a student who was caught in examination malpractice is one way or the other punished, what happens to the teacher who has been involved in one way or the other practicing that? In a situation whereby a parent will come and give some money to the teacher of the child, and that money, the purpose of the money is not mentioned. It is known but not mentioned. And at the end of the day, you see the child coming out with flying colors. Is that not examination malpractice?
It is. And
what happens to such a teacher?
It is. Okay, what happens is, in most cases, these teachers, they go scot-free. Because Ndigbo know how Ajide. So when they are doing it, nobody is there to look at, to punish them. But let us not forget that the consequences of examination malpractices are self-inflicted. The repercussions are there. in one way or the other, we are going to face the consequences, because that child that you have collected bribe and you have ensured that he or she indulges in examination malpractice and come out in flying colors, one day will be a medical doctor that will treat your daughter in the hospital, and you now see the kind of thing you have taught that medical doctor. They assume medical doctor. So had it been you had taught that child very well from the school, you would have given a proper medical attention to your child in future. So in one way or the other, karma follows such kind of persons. So let us know that even if you indulge in examination malpractice in one way or the other and you are free, you are going to face the consequences in future. It's going to haunt you. In one way or the other, you start seeing when you jump classes. In life, we don't jump classes. You take step according. Okay. So any class you jump, you have to face it in future. So if you didn't take your time to study at a particular grade and you want to jump, life has a way of drawing you back. Yes. You have to repeat it until you have passed that class, and we are sure that you have passed it. So there is no escaping it. There is no running around. So let us just know, because if you expel a child, the child is even happy that you have expelled the child from school. You go and start playing, maybe doing other things that he or she wants. But when you make this child to believe that, see, once you leave this school, you are missing classes, and you will not get that knowledge that is necessary for you to advance in life, start showing that child that, see, these things are going to haunt you in life. You're not going to have a better life. You're not going to be fulfilled. There's what we call inner fulfillment. You might have all the money in this world, but you still are not satisfied. You will start asking yourself, what am I doing in this life? You have lost your sense of direction. You have lost your sense of purpose. So those inner qualities that are meant to build you as a man, you will see is lacking inside of you. So when the child is made to really understand that these intangible things are what he lacks, he's going to sit down to pass it. So now, on the aspect of the government, we should de-emphasize these positions. Who comes first, who comes second, who comes third. Everybody is trying. Take now, for example, that we are in a technical school. Then I gave you a car to work on. I gave you a car to work on too. Will I start putting, okay, what the educational system checks is just speed and accuracy. But you might get the job done, but it might not take you the same time as it takes him. So give the child a time. Face them. We are not in a race. I don't know. We are not in a competition. Everybody has his own assignment, his own way to run. So leave that child. Give the child an assignment to give him the time to perform. Don't, because what the educational check is just speed and accuracy. They will say to you, they say this time is 1 hour, 30 minutes. Then you have to now start. But if I give you maybe a toy to play with and work on, so the end point is make this thing work. The end point is make this thing work. Yes. Then once it gets it, the job is done, everybody's happy. Okay.
Thank you so much, Kenneth. Obina, I want us to look at this in another dimension. You know, it is one thing for a student to indulge in examination malpractices and be caught. After being caught, you'll be punished. But it's another thing for another student to indulge in examination malpractices, and yet, at the end of the day, he was not caught. You go free. Now, let us look at the effects of examination malpractices on the students, on the teachers, on the parents, on the parent family, and on the society at large. Let's start with the student, Obina. What's the effect of examination malpractices on the student?
On a clearer note, it damages the child's or the student's future. Because your future is not guaranteed if you are trained using that route of examination malpractice. Because code that no habits, nemo that code no habits. I think that's a legal term, saying nemo that code no habits. I'm not a liar, but I was taught in the field. They said you can't give what you don't have. You don't have, you can't give. A time will come, just as he said, where these things will be required of you. So if you are the type engaging in examination malpractice, the future is not guaranteed, because one day it will play out. Another aspect of it is that it, apart from affecting the child's future, every destiny, there are destinies tied to every destiny. For example, when he was saying something of a medical doctor that graduated from school, not well trained, but under that platform examination malpractice. Now, what do you expect of that doctor at the end of the day? He or she will be forced to give what he or she has accumulated over the years. And if she's coming unprepared or not well baked to face the society challenges, definitely she will not give, or he or she will not give out what is expected at least in attending to challenges of his or her time. So these are issues. Apart from the individual concern, there are destinies tied to every destiny. in one way or the other. What you've gathered will impact on life or damage or promote or damage life in the future if not well programmed, managed, and controlled. That's where malpractice becomes an issue. On the side of governments, this examination malpractice, they should always remember that if it's allowed to flow.
Before you come from that angle of the government, Kenneth, let's hear if there is effect examination malpractices have on the school and the teachers as well.
Yeah, this school, the school is a home. It's a home where you see people that have come and learn. So by the time you now see people start cheating, it becomes an unhealthy home. Now it's not comfortable again for people that want to learn. So everything there that they are being taught is being falsified. You get me? So the school itself is a wrong, it will not be a wrong institution. Instead of a right institution that can correct these things. So you see how important it is. The school is supposed to shun everything called malpractices in what forms. Even when you are telling somebody to do this thing, to do that thing, make sure you are doing that thing in love. If you are flogging a child today, make sure you are flogging that child to correct that person in love. Let that person understand these things, because some of these punishments, some of these things that we do, most of these children don't even understand why you do these things to them, why you flog them. Why do you want them to actually study? Let's place more emphasis on the reasons why we do these things that we do. Not necessarily because you want to pass an exam at the end of the day and go to the next grade. No, or go to the next class. No. We want you to understand, to learn this. So the school as a community, it affects it generally as a overall. Because it's not even in class that we learn. There's what we call extracurriculum activities. So when I'm interacting with my peers in school, I'm also learning. There's what we call assimilation by association. So it's not even in classroom that I learn. I learn when I talk to my people, going to the refectory or going to go and play football, or I learn. So the school community should be functional and healthy for everybody.
Yes, you have said it all. Yeah. That when a school when a school practices examination malpractices, that school becomes a wrong institution.
Exactly.
And of course, I know it's a suicidal mission when a school becomes a wrong institution.
Yeah, the goal of setting it up will be defeated.
Wow.
Because, the schools, just as he said, is one of the agents of socialization, designed to train our mind and character. Just like in University of Nigeria, they can't give you any certificate until you are found worthy in character and in learning.
Exactly.
And these are the two essential goals that educational institution is designed to achieve. Aside building knowledge, moral conduct are there also to guide you. So the school system is a moral ground as well, where children or students or people, as it were, are supposed to be trained, groomed, prepared to face the challenges of the society. But if the school fails, definitely they are creating more havoc to the society, because much hope is placed on the school system to be a good agent of socialization, to turn out to the society people that will man the affairs of life. But if the school fails, what do you expect? You start having a situation where you have square peg in round hole, people fitting into position where they are not supposed to be there. We have issue of promotion of mediocrity over meritocracy. And these are issues of, that's where we see government coming in because of this national character factor and co. People are being placed in position not because of merit, but because of where they are. Favoritism, nepotism, all these factors start playing in.
All right,
affecting society.
You have actually nailed it. Then, Kenneth, let us look at it from this other dimension. It is a fact that each family is a unit of the society.
Exactly.
That means what affects a family will affect the society at large with time.
Yeah.
Now, the causes or the effect of sexual malpractices on the family will, as a matter of fact, transcend to the society with time.
Exactly.
Let's look at how it affects the family and then how it affects the society.
Okay, like we say, the family is the smallest unit of the society, right? And that is where it's part of one of the agents of change. So in a family now that you see they encourage these special centers where they pay for their kids to go to school. Number one, it starts affecting the foundation of that family. Okay, what are the moral values? What are the legacy, the bloodline? What is this family known for? The value system and all that. Before you know, it starts trickling down to the rest of the children. Now, before you know, they start spreading it to their peers. You see, so when a child gets back home and maybe he or she is being given an assignment to fill, and instead of the elderly one to come and teach the child, see, this is how you do it, he starts answering those questions by himself because he wants the child to pass. And now that child itself, knowing that, okay, if I give it to Ada will want to put me through for me to understand. But if I give it to Obinna will just fill it for me and I will go and pass. And next time, if he or she is being given an assignment, he will take it to Obinna. Because instead of Ada, because Obinna will want to do it and go and play football. But Ada, a shortcut, but Ada will want to put her through to really understand. And sometimes when we are doing this assignment for people, to actually watch it, let them feel it by themselves. But let's ensure that they're actually getting it right. That is the role of these quantitative reasoning and qualitative reasoning. I really loved that when I was going in school. It was one of my best. Qualitative, we need to check the mindset of this. How do they reason to things? Quantitative reasoning, you know. How do they see things? Verbal attitude. So these are the kind of things we should pay much attention to. And how do they come about these things? If we can even have a situation where everybody writes an exam, then we start scoring them. Everybody knows the score. That's okay, we are going to score you according to. So because some of these things serve, the teachers, when they teach some courses in classrooms, they will go and set something else. And the students, they know that most times, because they want them to fail, and they will come and sort them.
All right.
You see, so many deliberate attempts. So many of these things, if we keep on talking about how this, you see, we will not live here today.
True.
But
and that boils down to what you said before now. Yeah. That it is more important to teach the child, build the in-depth of the child, than what is written on the paper. That is wonderful of you. Then, Obina, let us come to this other aspect of it. Do you think, within you as you are seated here, that examination malpractices can ever be put to a stop?
As long as human being lives and human factors exist, it's quite impossible to state. Because number one is that as the bird has learned to fly without pitching, so has the hunter learned to shoot without mistaking. If government is coming this way, people are devising other means. Bring this method, they are devising other means. So because you are dealing with human being, the human factor, where we have issue of morality in stake here. The feasibility of having it to a full stop. When I say it's like a dream that maybe is when you succeed in changing the whole human race to become an angel. If that is possible, then examination malpractice can be stopped.
Examination malpractice to stop it is not a possibility.
I disagree with what he said. Okay. But because you know, once a cause of thing is known, the solution is known. Okay. We have already brought out the causes of examination malpractice. Then let's start treating them. Let's start bringing possible solutions to them. I know that we can start bringing, okay, this is one of the causes of examination malpractice, then this is how we solve it. Like we have brought the ones of maybe teaching the child core values. Then we're not going to, okay, let's know how we can make sure they have a comfortable examination hall. Let's know how we can increase the salaries of teachers. Let's know how we can increase the moral values of. So these things, if we take these measures gradually, I think there's nothing that is not possible.
Well, I want to ask something.
Before you know it, to create a new society.
I want to ask something towards it. Not that I'm saying that it's quite impossible, but I'm just trying to tell you that that dream requires a lot of efforts to be achieved. That's why I use that term, turning the whole human race to angel.
Efforts that are humanly possible?
Yes, turning the whole human race to angel. Because this thing has to do with inward transformation, not even this thing we are looking at.
We're even gods, so we are more than angels.
No, let me say something here. Because we are dealing with human being, there's this possibility of human factor playing out all the time. Okay. Nepotism, favoritism, this one is not from here. And like in the Nigerian context, where Nigerian society is heterogeneous in nature. Different tribes here, culture here and there, everybody working tooth and nail to make sure that his own aspect is covered in the game. These things it's just as saying that the government will one day wake up in Nigeria and say, okay, there will be no Nigeria federal character in Nigeria. Is that possible? If it's possible in Nigeria, then we can stop examination malpractice. One day, Nigeria government will stand up and say, okay, there will be no federal character again. You will gain job based on merit. Nothing like Hausa. This is the quantity of Hausa people that if it's possible, then it's possible in Nigeria. But if it's not, forget about it.
I wanted to believe. I wanted to.
It's not possible. Forget about it. Because it's
I wanted to believe in the possibility of the saying that whatever that has a beginning has an end. And whatever that's happening has a solution. That's a solution to everything.
No, I'm not against that. But I'm giving you a solution. The way out. If they will come to term that from today we kill federal character, then it's possible.
Don't you believe government can do that?
Then any day they wake up and say this is what we want to do, then it's possible in Nigeria.
All right, thank you so much, Obina.
Thank you.
I wanted to quickly speak to some students who have been passing the examinations without examination malpractices. I know there are still some students who
My
have that.
fellow good students, this is me telling you that you can be whatever you want to be in life, despite any challenges that you are facing right now. And don't take it that if you fail according to the school system that you have failed in life, there is an exam outside classroom. The most important thing is to pass in life. You might pass in school in a very wrong way or wrong manner, in a dishonest method, and you see yourself failing in life. Why can't you just assume that you do the right thing and we assume that you failed in school but you are passing in life? Because definitely whatever you are learning in school right now is what you are going to carry on in life. So make sure you learn that thing, learn it very well. Don't be in a haste. There's no need to rush, no run. Take your time, learn whatever you want to learn in school so that in life you keep passing and excelling. See you at the top. Thank you.
Thank you so much, the President, Enugu State Young Farmers Association. You are the Director, Agricultural Directorate, National Youth Council of Nigeria, Enugu State Chapter. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, sir.
And thank you, Obina, who is the Programs Officer, Aneke Pascal Onyeka Care Foundation, and the Youth Administrator. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
Our viewer, will thank you so much for being there. This is where we nail it for today. We have discussed examination malpractices. And he who has ears, let him hear what the Spirit says to the churches. Chukwu Emeka is my name. Thank you so much.